I'll double check as we go along, but it's going live now. That's great. If you start now, Chair, sorry about that.
No problem at all. Welcome to this, the third Letchworth Area Forum, an opportunity for the local community to be more involved and influence the work of North Herts Council members and officers. In accordance with council policy, this meeting is being recorded. The recordings will be available both on the council's YouTube channel as well as on the council's ModGov site alongside the documents from the meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone, members, officers and members of the public, to the first virtual Letchworth Area Forum. Before the meeting starts, I'd like to invite the Community Partnerships Officer to explain how proceedings will work and to undertake a roll call of those attending online to ensure they can hear and be heard. Over to you, Danny.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. Just a quick run through of what the agenda is, which most of you would have received already. We're going to have the Chair's announcements first, followed by public participation and the grant applications. Then we're going to have a brief community update, and then the presentation on the cost of living from Citizens Advice North Herts and also Create Community. And then we're going to have ward matters and then finally finish on future area forums. I have, for the sake of YouTube, already done a roll call for the councillors and made a note of who is here. I'm just going to go through presenters quickly just to see that we're all here. I have down Liz from Home Start Hearts. If you could just say hello to check your mic's working.
Hi, Danny. Yes, I'm here.
Next up, I've got Laura from Resolve.
Hi there.
Hi, Laura. And next up, Lena from Create Community.
Hello.
Hello. And after that, I have Susan Cross and Babs McDonald from Cruise.
Yes, here. Thanks, Danny.
Yes, here.
Good to have you. Thank you, guys. David from Friends of Norton Common. I can see your video, David. Is your mic working? I think you're currently on mute. Okay, we'll come back to you. You're on mute at the moment. We'll try you again at the end. We also have Ray Wilson from Green Care.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And members of public, I've got Ed Paxton down.
Yes, hello.
Thank you. And Sadie Billing.
Yeah, hiya.
Thank you. And I've got officers Laura, who is on IT.
Hello.
Hello. And also we've got Andrew Mills as well. Can you just check your mic's working, Andrew?
Evening, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have I missed anyone off? I think I've covered everybody.
Hi, Danny. It's Christine as well. You've got me.
Hello. Sorry, we did mention you. North Herts there.
That's all right.
Thank you. Sorry, we do have everybody. Excellent. So I'm just going to say, when we do come to the grants, we're going to need to record the votes. So, Chair, if you're able to make sure that we have all those tallied up, whether it's unanimous or if we need to total it, I'll take the names down, if that's okay.
That's fine.
We're good to go, Chair. Thank you.
No, thank you. Can I, just before we move on, can I get some advice from you, Danny, on how you'd like us to vote tonight?
I think if it's a yes, then if you could raise your hand, councillors only, obviously, and we'll tally up there and take it from there, if that's okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to suggest then is that to vote, we raise our virtual hands rather than our hands up at the screen.
Yeah.
So we're all doing the same thing. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for that, Danny. As this is not a formal council meeting, public are allowed to speak and ask questions, but please raise your hand and if possible, say your name when you're invited to speak. And I'd like to ask that if public wish to speak, that if you raise your virtual hand as well, rather than physically in the room, because that's a lot easier for me to see and come to you on. We will be receiving presentations from community groups seeking grant funding, and councillors will be voting to make a recommendation to the executive member for community and partnerships. The Community Partnerships Officer will clearly state the result of the vote, and the Chair will proceed to the next agenda item. In the event of a tied vote, the Chair will have the casting vote. Are there any questions before we carry on? Thank you very much. So we'll go to item 1, which is apologies for absence. We've currently received no apologies from councillors. Are there any late apologies received? Yes, Councillor Bloxham.
I think we did have one from Ian Mantle, didn't we?
Yes, we received one yesterday.
Okay, thanks all. Are there any other late apologies? If not, we will move. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to item 2, which is Chair's announcements. Members are reminded to make declarations of interest before an item that they may wish to abstain from voting. If they have an interest, but they are merely making recommendations and not decisions. Item 3 is the public participation in relation to grant applications. So I'd like to invite the Community Engagement Officer to update members on the budgets.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say that the community grant base budget for Letchworth Area Forum 2023-24 is £11,000. The grant budget carried over from 2022-23 is £84. Grants from the Wilbury and Icknield Schools Parents Association and Garden City Samba totaling 2,600 have been repaid. 1,884 has been allocated to date in 2023-24, leaving 11,800 available to allocate for community grants. If the applications outlined in appendices 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are recommended and approved, there will be 4,215 available for community grants for the remainder of the 2023-24 financial year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Danny. And just while we're there, could you just confirm when that runs to?
We have the next meeting, so we have the 4,215 for the next meeting, which is February, and then it gets how do you say, it starts again essentially, but it'll roll over. Whatever we don't spend, whatever you guys don't spend next time, will roll over.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Councillor Allen.
Just a quick question for Danny regarding that. May I ask, is he aware of amounts that are being requested at the next meeting?
Thank you, Councillor Allen. We have currently 2 grants that I'm working on, possibly 3. Obviously, I can't go into details, but the 4,000 should be enough at the moment. But again, we need to go through those with the policy team as well as our wider team just to see how that fits. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, Danny, and thank you, Councillor Allen. Okay, so we are now ready to receive presentations in support of grant applications. So I'd like to invite Susan Cross and Babs McDonald from Cruise to present.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom, for that. Yeah, I don't know if you're all familiar with Cruise. We're a bereavement support group we'll cover the whole of the UK, but we have branches in Hertfordshire and Letchworth. So we support mainly by telephone because of COVID. So really I'm here today to pitch really in terms of we moved our services predominantly to telephone support. But what we found more and more as we've come out of COVID, and it's took a few years, is that group support is really what our clients are asking for. So with that in mind, we've put this application together to set up a group that would be in Letchworth to support bereaved people. And it would be about every fortnight, and it's a group of 6 to 8 clients that would be supported. Yeah, so what that's really about Cruise is that we support any kind of bereavement. We're a free service. We're open, we have a helpline where the referrals come in, and a lot of the referrals come in from the GPs and from mental health provision, and they also self-refer through our website as well. So the referrals come in, and we have volunteers that deal with all the calls. So we've got 80 volunteers in Hertfordshire. this group would be run by two of our very experienced volunteers who are group facilitators, and crews have to train these facilitators to sort of do the group work. And the funding isn't for training because they're already trained. We've already got that set up. So this funding is really to pay for their expenses to get there to the group, and you know, the actual facilitation of that through the helpline and the calls coming in. So yeah, that's how it would work. It would work that the clients would be invited to the group. We've already got 3 people waiting for group support in that area as well. So we're ready to go. We just need another 3 to 5 more people, which is with the demand in Letchworth, we will easily get. We do offer sort of one-to-one support, telephone support, but we are finding that more people are asking for group support. So I don't know if Babs, if you want to sort of talk about the figures of the demand in Hertfordshire and in Letchworth.
Yes, we do have quite a lot of clients that come through for Letchworth. So and we have run groups in Letchworth pre-pandemic. They were very successful. The venue that we're using, we have used before, and we found that the groups there run really well.
Yeah, so the groups themselves, as I say, it's 2 facilitators, so it's not a peer-run group in effect, just getting bereaved people together in a room. It is like facilitated over a 6-week period. And there's sort of a theme that where we move people, and what we found from the groups is that they share a common theme. So if most of you will have experienced a bereavement. But there's actually common themes that come through, and it's that supportive, connective element of the group work that really shines through. And our facilitators, who are very experienced bereavement support volunteers, will help them see that grief is normal and they're not actually going mad. And I think when you see that with others, it sort of normalizes the grief as well, that actually you're not alone. And you know, the evaluations that come out of these groups are so really positive. You know, everybody that comes out will say that it's actually made a difference. And it doesn't just make a difference to that individual, it goes on to make a difference to their friends and family. So, you know, it helps with depression and all the sort of things that can come with grief in a way. And they're actually supporting that one person. We support the family, we always say, and their connected ripples effect. So for every one bereaved person, evidence has shown it helps 10 people. And also saving the NHS money, because when they go to the GP, often they are referred to crews rather than take antidepressants, especially through social prescribers, which are more and more seeing social prescribers referring into crews as well. So yeah, we just hope that you'll support crews with this group. It's just lovely to see some of the stories that we see at the other end, and also just to say our volunteers are so brilliant and they give their time for free. The service is free, but there is sort of a cost, as I say, for the travel to get there. And we also offer a refreshments at the venue, and the venue hire kind of costs around that. So that's what we're asking for today. So I don't know if you've got any questions about the group.
Great, thank you very much, Susan and Babs. Councillor Bloxham.
Thank you very much, Susan. That was great to hear all of that. I just wondered, could you give us an idea of the total cost for this particular project, and where the other sources of fundings, if there are other, I guess there's other funding that you'd need for this, where that's coming from?
Yeah, well, we've kept the cost really low for this grant. I mean, it's only approximately about £1,000 that we're asking for. What we did when we pitched, when we actually put it in, we costed £300 for venue hire, but we've made contact with the venue and they've actually given it us for free now. So we've all instantly saved £300 from the grant. So we're asking for £1,060, and that is towards the refreshments, the room hire, the travel costs, and for the helpline costs for the telephone system that we're using for the referrals coming in, and the administrator. So I work for crews. Babs has actually done group support before, so she could talk about how does a group work as well. So does that answer the question about how much we want?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, no, it does. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bloxham. Are there, yes, Councillor Levitt.
It says in the application this is for a total of 6 months. Is that for one group for 6 months or several different groups within that 6
Yeah,
months?
so this would be one group meeting monthly, and it's an hour and a half. But what we've actually found that since we wrote the application, the facilitators saying that they could do it every fortnight, and that's what we probably will move to. So it'll be once a fortnight over 6 sessions for 8 people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Thomas.
Hi, thank you, Susan, for sharing that. I wanted to get a bit of clarity. This is sort of, I think it works out from the original amount of the 1,300, not the sort of lowered amount with the reduced room rent at £226 a session, and I think you said 6 to 8 people, so you're sort of looking at £37. But from what you've just said, I get a sense that this isn't just about the covering the costs of the actual sessions, but also the administration costs of crews, which isn't a problem. I just want to get clarity, given the relatively small
That's right.
size.
So 381 for the administration telephone system is the cost of that as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Thomas. Are there any more questions? Okay, if not, I am muted. Sorry about that. So the amount asked for is £1,060. Would any of the councillors like to propose would like to propose either the full sum or a part sum, or yes, I've seen Councillor Bloxham.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose the full funding for this one.
Lovely. Thank you, Councillor Bloxham. Councillor Marsh.
I'm happy to second, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marsh. So the proposal is that the Area Forum fund the project from crews to the full amount of £1,060. Councillors, can I see digital hands for this, please? Lovely. I think that is unanimous. So thank you. Thank you very much, Babs and Susan. So what will happen now is we'll send our recommendation to the executive member for community and partnerships, but the committee has recommended to give you the sum you've asked for. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Just want to thank everybody for listening to me today. It was not put together very well today, just sort of off the top of my head really to present today last minute. So just thank you for everything that you've supported us with, and we'll give you some feedback when we've finished the group as well and let you know how it went.
That would be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councillor Hone, is that a hand raised from the vote, or would you like to come in?
No, it's a hand which I should take down.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. In which case we'll move on to the next grant application. So can I invite David Whitaker and Roger Day from the Friends of Norton Common to present, please?
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good.
Okay, thank you.
This is Roger Day, by the way.
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, thank you for the opportunity to bid for the funding. It's very much appreciated. If I could just talk a little bit about us and then what we want to use the bid for. The Friends Group volunteer every Thursday morning, 9:30 to 1:30 throughout the year. We have about 25 volunteers, but men and women, all ages, mainly retired, but still super enthusiastic, obviously. The average turnout each week is 12 to 15 people, And last year, we totaled 2,000 volunteer hours on the common. Our work plans are strictly in line with the council's green space action plan, and our year is split into two. The summer work is mainly maintenance and clearing of waterways and paths, installation of fence posts, boardwalks, smaller bridges, replacement of heavy duty seating and signage, and any general repairs that need doing on the common. Winter is from September to March and is more heavy duty. It's quite a lot of scrub clearance, thinning out, clearing of dead trees, creation of dead hedging, coppicing and hedge laying, and generally tidying up after storms with the things that we can do for the council. We are monitored by council officers, and we're also audited for safe working annually by the County Rights of Way team. So hopefully when you're on the common, you can see we are busy and making a difference. And our bid is mainly for replacement of hand tools and personal protective equipment needed for us to carry out the work that I've just outlined. Much of our tool stock was purchased at the start of the group in 2007. We need to replace almost all of it really, as most is worn out and coming to the end of its life. In addition, the new types of tasks that we are taking on over the last couple of years, such as replacement of the oak heavy benches and boardwalks, require additional tools. As an example, the oak benches require nearly 1 metre deep holes for the benches to be placed into, and also to be tamped back in all the soil to avoid concrete, etc., being used on the common. As I'm sure you appreciate, that sort of work is beyond the ordinary spades and shovels that one would normally use. And also, most importantly, is the personal protective equipment. This is gloves, hard hats, and safety glasses that we issue to each volunteer when they join on induction, but also through the replacement as they wear out, and they do take quite a bash in, especially the gloves. We've attached to the bid a list of the tools that is only partial replacement, because obviously, you know, with 12 to 15 volunteers coming out and the amount of tools, what we're looking to do is just partially replace them and perhaps keep a rolling program. But anything you can help with this time with the bid will certainly keep us going for the next few years the way we've been doing. So thank you for listening, and we are very happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, David and Roger. I'm going to use Chair's prerogative to ask the first question. I don't think I've seen a list of the tools that you mentioned. Would you be able to go through that and some of the tools that need replacing and what their approximate cost to replace them is?
Yeah, sure. Well, the first one is long-handled hole spade, which is for digging those deeper holes that we're talking about. They're £70 each, and we would like one of those. Hole saws, certainly for trimming quite a few of the particularly like what we call hangers, the branches on trees that are broken but not down and out of our reach. We can cut them with a pole saw. They're £35, and we'd like one of those. Bow saw blades, we're looking for 15 of those at £5 each. And would you like to go right through the list? There's quite a lot. No?
I mean, if from my perspective, if you're able to give us a flavour of some of the perhaps higher value items, that would be useful. Okay,
well, most of them are sort of like £5 and £10 each. There's one high value one, which is a cordless hedge trimmer that we're looking for, which would help us clear the brambles and so forth, and also doing the river work, clearing the higher stuff on the river work. That's £200. But the rest of the waders to allow safe working in the waters, you know, it's £25 a pair. But the total list of the tools that we've put down comes to £2,165, and that covers a range of all the tools, but you know, partial replacement in each grouping. Does that help?
That's great. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm going to go to Councillor Marsh.
Thank you, Jeff. I'd just love to hear a little bit more about how you recruit your volunteers and what training they have to use those tools. And then following on from that, if you're looking for more volunteers, I'd really encourage you to reach out to our North Arts communications team to see if they can do a little bit of advertisement and work with to showcase the brilliant work you're already doing.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. We are always looking for volunteers. We have quite a healthy group, and we also have people coming in from volunteers who are no longer able to do the work to come in and join us for a tea and a coffee at tea break, which is great as well. We keep in contact with those sort of people. We have had communications adverts going into the council's newsletters and so forth for volunteers. But if I'm honest, most of our volunteers come from people walking through the common and word of mouth of what we do, you know, but we do invite, and we do, people show any interest, and we try hard to recruit them onto the common to work with us.
Great. And just to follow up with that part, what training do you provide just so they're using the tool safely, etc., especially with clippers and bits?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I think we're
what kind of training do you provide just to ensure that everything's being done health and safety wise?
Absolutely. Well, we had 5 leaders, and what we've done with the leaders, we've broken us down into sort of like responsible groups. So we have one leader for planning. I look after the health and safety side of things. When you join us, come in, we give an induction. I mean, some people, this is completely new to them. So we give an induction and an assessment of the type of work and experience they've had. And then we take it from there and give them one-to-one training with a more experienced person, usually a leader, who would take them through and just talk them through and gradually build up their skills level. On the actual health and safety, we use the county council, the Rights Away team, their briefing notes, which before we start every task, we give it a brief which covers all the safety points. Obviously, depending on the task, that could be uneven ground or fallen trees or bad weather, or all of those, ambulance points and so forth. So we cover all of that on there, and that's quite a strong part that the County Council Rights Away team, when they do the audit, they are checking both formally on that once a year audit, but also when they pop onto the common and the council officers to make sure that we are working safely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure.
Thank you, Councillor Marsh. Councillor Bloxham.
Thanks very much, Chairman. I am very sorry to do this at this late stage, but I think I'm going to declare an interest. And I've been battling with this because I only just realised myself and Roger Day go back a long way. He first beasted me round a fire station drill yard for 4 months in January 1985. I do know Roger very well, so I think what I'd prefer to do on this, although I have no problem with the application, I think I ought to recluse myself, whatever the term is, and not actually take part in the vote if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm more than happy for that to happen. I'll just pass on to Danny for a second just to confirm, but that's fine with me.
Yes, Chair, that is absolutely fine. We have more than enough councillors here to pass it for recommendation. But thank you very much.
I've forgiven him, by the way, for beasting me around that drill yard for 4 months. But there you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Bloxham. Councillor Allen.
I'm worried whether I need to declare an interest as well, because I've volunteered with Friends of Northern Common before. Don't know if that counts or not.
I think that's from my perspective, that's certainly an interest. So I suggest that you do the same as Councillor Bloxham, Councillor Allen, and recuse yourself from the vote on this item.
Chair, unfortunately, that's going to mean me as well. It's been about 18 months.
Sorry, is that Councillor Allen?
It's the other Councillor Allen.
Yeah. Sorry, you've disappeared from my screen for a second there. Yeah, no, that's fine. Danny, with councillors Allen and Bloxham recused, do we still have enough councillors to?
Chair, you're absolutely fine. Thank you.
Perfect. Cheers. Thank you very much, Councillors Allen and Bloxham. Are there any more questions for David and on this item? If not, I'd like to open the floor to members to propose on this item. Councillor Marsh.
I'd love to propose this, Chair.
And just to note, you're proposing that the area forum recommend that we give the full amount, £2,165, to the Friends of Norton Common.
Correct, and thank you for saying it correctly for me.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marsh. Councillor Prendergast.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor, was that a second as well, Councillor Thomas?
Yeah, as it's in my ward, but that's fine. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, in which case we have a proposal on the table. Councillors, I'd like to ask you to vote for this proposal by putting your virtual hands up now. Thank you very much. Very much. I think that's all the councillors who can vote voted for. So congratulations to David and Roger. As I said before, this is a recommendation that will now go to the executive member for community and partnerships. But congratulations on, as this forum will be recommending that the council give you the grant you've asked for.
Thank you, councillors.
Thank you very much indeed. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you very much all. Councillor Allen.
Apologies that we weren't able to vote or say anything about it. I just wanted to ask, could we possibly check into the elements of interest in that if you've volunteered for an organisation at some point in the past, even in sort of informally, is that going to affect your ability to be able to vote on stuff? I'm quite happy to recuse yourself from this tonight without argument because there's enough of us, but what are we supposed to do regarding getting involved in organisations and charity events and things in our community and volunteering and helping out, and then finding ourselves not able to vote on grants because we've volunteered at some point? I absolutely love working with Friends of Norton Common on the few occasions I've been able to go. It's a fantastic group of people who do wonderful, wonderful things, and it's really good stuff. I feel that we need to firm up what is an interest or not, because otherwise we could lose out on being able to grant. I'm waffling. I'm so sorry. We'll lose out on being able to grant funding if half of us can't stick a vote in.
No, it's a very good question, Councillor Allen. Thank you very much. Danny, I think what's best is, can I ask you to go away and get some clarification on this, and we'll put an item on the agenda for the beginning of the next area forum to clarify on this point, because I think it's definitely worth doing.
I think absolutely fair point to make, and that will help the other area forums as well, because I know a lot of councillors volunteer for groups. So yes, we will absolutely take that away and find an answer for you all. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Danny, and thank you, Councillor Allen. So we'll move on now to the next item. So can I invite Ray Wilson from Green Care to present, please?
Are you ready to leave?
Sorry, I think Rachel. There we go.
Is that better? Can you hear me? Sorry about that,
we can.
everyone. Sorry. We're just saying quite a number of you will probably be familiar with what we do. We're now into year 5 of Green Care. We're across 3 sites in Letchworth, and we support vulnerable adults, long-term unemployed people, through the medium of horticulture. So basically we grow things, put flowers, vegetables, fruits and so on. So when we started, we were very small. When we first came to this forum, there were probably myself and 3 or 4 others. Now we have a mailing list of 45 every week. We've probably over the years helped around 100 vulnerable adults in Letchworth.
to access the project and gain from it. And we've got over 500 followers on Facebook. So we do create some interest as well. So what we've been trying to do over the last year or 18 months is become more sustainable. We decided we would have an enterprise element to what we do, not just a charitable element. And so we sell our produce. The money goes straight back into funds. So what we're asking for tonight is two separate things, really, which will help us on that journey to becoming more sustainable and hopefully less reliant on grant funding. So a couple of things have really hurt us over the last couple of years. The summer before last was really, really hot, as you know, not a good time for growing things. Last year, the weather was all over the place. It really was, and a lot of things failed. In fact, a lot of professional horticulturalists are giving up because it's so difficult to cope with the weather. Right. The other thing that we're finding is that we're increasingly feeding people with the cost of living crisis as it is. The sort of participants that we have are often struggling, desperately so, and we are giving them a lot of our produce just to keep them going. So what we've decided to do this year is try and up our production of fruit and vegetables on our site in order to generate more income for ourselves. And again, if we have to do so this year, to feed some of the participants. So we're asking for funding for what we call plug plants, about 510 small vegetable plants, which sort of short circuits the need to grow everything from seed, which can be a hit and miss affair. Most professional growers do this, and it will enable us to grow more crops, hopefully to sell more, raise more funds, and, as I say, feed those who need it. The other thing we're asking for is a small grant for a fruit cage. Some of the more lucrative things are things like blueberries, raspberries, gooseberries, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, birds love them, and the way to grow them really is to grow them under a cage. So we're asking for £300 for the plug plants, which will be a year's supply of all sorts of different vegetables, and then I've got the figures, 200 and something for a fruit cage to put in our soft fruit in. We're asking for 500. It will come to more than that, but we will put obviously some of our money into that. And yeah, I think I've rambled a bit there. I'm hoping it makes some sort of sense. But has anybody got any questions?
No, not at all. Thank you very much, Ray. I'm going to use Chair's prerogative to kick off the questioning again. And just to say that on our sheet, it says you've applied for £500 with the total project cost being 613. Yes. Can you let us know where have you applied for other funding for the...
No, that will come out of the money in our account. That's all. I like, I would rather put it. It's only a small gesture, but we're prepared to put some of our own money into that.
No, thank you very much. And the other one from me, we just to point, we also had a grant application from you last year as well, wasn't it? For I'm going to get this wrong, but I feel like it was for a roto tractor.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, a walking tractor.
That's
what a superb bit of machinery that is. Yes, it basically takes pasture and converts it to growing beds. It's a beast of a machine, which has been highly successful. Thank you very much. Yes, takes a
No.
lot of work out of it.
Brilliant. That's really good to hear. Thank you very much, Ray.
Allows me to put my feet up.
I'm going to go to Councillor Thomas first.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask what the lifespan of a fruit cage is, roughly.
Oh, I would say, as long as it doesn't get attacked by certain, too much, probably 5 years, at least 5 years. Polytunnels, which are similar sort of things, will last about 8 years, something like that. But then it's a steel frame, so you would only have to put new netting over it, which is pretty cheap.
Thank you very much, Councillor Thomas. Councillor Levitt.
Good evening, Ryan. Nice to see you again. I was going to ask about the walking tractor as well, to be honest, because I remembered that from last year and sounded fun. Where do you sell your stuff when you sell your veg now?
We sell in 3 places mainly. We sell through the shop at Standalone Farm. We also sell through 2 of our larger local employers. So we sell at Altro and we sell at Settle Homes. So basically in their lunch breaks, we set out all our fruit and veg, flowers and what have you, and sell there.
Good idea. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Councillor Levitt. Councillor Allen.
Couple of things. Firstly, thank you for the presentation. I'm very excited to see you looking to go over to being more self-sufficient, because I love the walking tractor talk that you gave last time, but I also remember donations back when I've been a councillor a little while back with a polytunnel and shed and the disability access that we put in, which I think in total we've given about £5,000 so far. What I did want to say was, the way that you're going to be selling things on as you have you considered approaching the Letchworth Garden City bid and taking part in the monthly farmers markets?
We haven't. I have to say we haven't. And the only real reason for that is because of the way things have been over the last couple of years. It's like ensuring supply. So I wouldn't like to commit to monthly sales in that way if we couldn't put something on the table every month. And that has been largely, as I say, down to the weather. We're trying to get to grips with that somewhat. We've done a lot of construction over winter of raising beds, raising the growing area off the ground, so it's not so susceptible to getting dry or weeds and grass invading, if you see what I mean. So we're trying to combat that sort of thing, and we're quite optimistic for this year, to be honest, and that's something we ought to consider. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Allen. Are there any other questions for Ray on this item? If not, thank you very much. I'm going to open to proposals, and I would actually like to make a proposal from the chair, if that's okay, and that's that we give the full total project cost, so £613. And the reason I'm proposing this is because, having heard what Ray's said and the work that they do, I think this is a really fantastic venture, and I think as we have the funds, we should be giving them all the help that we can. I've got hands from Councillor Levitt, Allen and Councillor Weeder, so I'll take them in that order. So Councillor Levitt.
Thank you, Chair. I was going to make exactly the same proposal as you've just done actually, so happy to second your proposal.
Thank you very much, Councillor Levitt. Councillor Allen.
Along the same vein, so no worries.
No problem. Then Councillor Weeder.
Same. I was going to second.
Fantastic. Thank you very much all. Now we have a proposer and seconder. Can I ask councillors to vote on this motion, please? Excellent. And that is a vote from me as well. So I believe that is unanimous. So thank you very much, Ray, and congratulations. As I've said to others, this recommendation will now be sent to the executive member for community and partnerships, but we will recommend to give you the total project cost £613. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. So we'll move on to the next item. So can I invite Liz Lacose from Home Start Hearts to present, please? Sorry, Councillor Thomas, did you want to come in there?
No, sorry, Chair.
No problem. I'm assuming the same is for Councillor Allen as well. Fine. Okay. Okay then, Liz, over to you.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? Great. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'm Liz. I'm the Business Development Manager for Home Start Hertfordshire. And our application tonight is actually quite different to the last couple that we've heard from. So just to give you a brief introduction, Home Start is a children and families charity. We support families who are vulnerable and struggling throughout the county of Hertfordshire and obviously in North Herts as well. Families are referred to us for any number of reasons, including feeling anxious or isolated. Many have mental health struggles, or they might have escaped a domestic violence situation. And our core support really is on a one-to-one basis in the family's own home. We are a volunteer-led charity, so we will match a trained and skilled volunteer family mentor, excuse me, or match a trained volunteer family mentor with the family. And the idea is that they would visit them on a weekly basis for 2 to 3 hours every week and offer a bit of practical and emotional support. A lot of families at the moment, we're finding with the cost of living in particular, that's having a massive knock-on effect on their mental health. And families really, they're just needing a bit of extra support so that they can find their confidence to be able to face those challenges that they're facing, learn coping strategies. It doesn't mean that we'll necessarily resolve every situation that they're facing, but it gives them that confidence to be able to face the challenges that they're experiencing, and really so that they can be the best parent that they can be, to provide that nurturing and loving home life for their children so that their children can start out as best they can in life. So that's our core support. We also offer 9 family groups throughout the county, and 2 of which are in North Herts. 1 is in Letchworth. At the moment, we're engaging with 21 families in North Herts, and specifically in Letchworth, we've got 14 families who are receiving support. Sorry, that's not in Letchworth, that's in North Herts. But in Letchworth, we have got 3 families that are waiting for support. And so our application tonight is to be able to support one of those families. And that would be on a one-to-one basis in their home, which is our core support. So just to give you a bit of a background as to the kind of struggles that the family is facing, the family setup, it's a single mother with 3 children. She has a 12-year-old, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And sorry, I should have said that our support, the one prerequisite we have is that every family we support has at least 1 child under the age of 5. So obviously with this family, the support would mainly be for the mother and the 2 younger children, but obviously the older child would benefit because it's the whole family that would benefit from the support. So the two of the girls suffer with neurodiverse issues. They're autistic, so they would need support with that. The mother has very low self-esteem and self-confidence. She's got very poor mental health, and she really needs just some help with the everyday managing of the house. She really needs help to sort of build her self-confidence, and you know, we'd also be able to signpost her further for support with the autism with her children and that sort of thing. So the idea is that really the family mentor would go to visit the family on a weekly basis and provide that practical and emotional support so that, you know, she can sort of learn to cope with the struggles that she's facing and turn the life around a little bit so that her children can have that childhood and that family life that they deserve and that she wants to give them. In terms of the costs that we've applied for, it's just over £2,000 that we've applied for. And I'm taking it as read that you've seen the application. So there's a breakdown of the costs on there. I think that's basically everything I wanted to say, but just to say in terms of the costs, being a volunteer-led charity, we are obviously able to keep our costs down as much as possible, which makes it a very cost-effective service. We recruit our volunteers from the local community, so it's really nice that those volunteers can feel like they're using the skills that they have, but also they learn new skills because we run preparation courses, which we do expect our volunteers to attend and to complete before they're matched with the families. And so they learn new skills at that course, but obviously they bring with them a certain amount of experience. And we do ask that our volunteers have had some kind of experience in looking after children, whether it's with their own children or in a childcare environment. Yeah, so we match the volunteers with the families depending on what their experience is and how they would be best suited to support that family. So, you know, really we're in the best situation possible to support the families with what they need. And then that allows them to rebuild their confidence and eventually integrate back into the local community. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much, Liz. I'd just like to confirm the amount is £2,060 that you're asking for before we move on.
Yes, I think specifically it was £2,057.
Right.
I don't know if those £3 make a difference, but yeah.
No, thank you very much. I'm going to take Councillor Thomas first.
Sorry, Chair, I only just put my hand up. I think that councillors Allen, Marsh and Levitt are ahead of me.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's fine. I'll take Councillor Allen then.
Hi. Which Alan?
Daniel.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a question. Homestart is phenomenal. I really respect what you do. I do have issues with this, which I'll come on to later. But my question is on the request form that we've been sent. It says that the family is also applying for funds from the Baldock and Hitchin area forums. Is that for the same family, or is that the charity are asking for family support from those different areas? And again, as the family support from those different area forums for one family?
That's correct. Yes, so because this is a North Herts application, we did submit 3 separate applications, and they are for 3 separate families. This one is for a family that lives in Letchworth. We have also applied for a family that lives in Baldock and a family that lives in Hitchin, but they are separate families, and it would be a separate support, the tailored support for the 3 families.
Thank you very much, Councillor Allen. Councillor Marsh.
Thank you. Chair, firstly, I'd just like to check to see if you feel I have a conflict of interest here. Until recently, I've been employed by Hertfordshire County Council doing youth work, so working on similar areas. Recently, I've moved on to a new role, but if there's any conflicts of interest there, I'm happy to bow out. Your advice and guidance there, Chair, or Danny Pearson?
Yeah, I'll take some advice from Danny, please.
I don't think there is a conflict of interest, but we have enough councillors. So, Councillor Marsh, if you want to step aside, if you don't mind stepping aside, just to be sure, that would help, because we do have enough councillors that can vote it for a recommendation, that is. Thank you.
Fully appreciate that. And then just quickly, Chair, we have a question from a non-councillor that would like to ask a question. Are they allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, we have allowed members of the public to ask questions at previous area forums, so I'm more than happy to go with precedent. All I'd ask is that if you're a member of the public and you want to ask a question, if you can just raise your digital hand and thank you very much. Councillor Levitt.
Thank you, Chair. I had my question was actually the same as the one that Dan's asked about the other area forms and that, but I think Dan mentioned at the beginning that he has some concerns, but I think I'll come back to that afterwards.
No worries. Thank you, Councillor Levitt. Councillor Thomas, I think you were next in line.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is probably a question for you, Chair, or for Danny. And this this feels like excellent work, but it also feels very closely aligned to obviously the funding streams that are available through county for supporting through adult social services and those functions. And I'm just sort of concerned about we're well aware of the scale of families, particularly in Letchworth, which has particularly challenging rates of deprivation compared to other towns, but across all the towns. I'm somewhat worried about setting that precedent, which is not to say that I don't think that this is exactly the kind of thing we would want to be able to fund, but I am just I'm feeling very cautious about setting that precedent and future equity. So I would like clarity on that, please.
No, that's fine. I'll go to Danny on this one, and then I'll come back.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas. I'm going to have to be very honest. I don't know, and I understand setting a precedent. Yes, it is councillor led. It is your recommendation, so I guess we'll just have to go on the votes. But if you're not comfortable en masse, then we can defer this until we have an answer. Again, some of you may want to do that. Some of you might be reluctant to do that. But this is what we're putting before you now, and this is what Home Start are putting before you now. As I said, they have gone to Bulldog, and they have been recommended there. Hitchin is next week. So again, I have to bow down to the councillors here. It's up to you to make the recommendation or not.
Thank you, Danny. I'm sympathetic with the point that Councillor Thomas is making, but I think on this one, if the officers have given us the sorry, the word has just gone out of my head, the application to consider, then I'd be minded to consider I'd be minded for us to continue with the questions, consider the application. However, when I ask for proposals, I would be more than happy to take a deferment or a proposals for or against, based on that reasoning. But thank you very much for the comment. I'm going to go next to Councillor Prendergast.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple of questions, and I know it will vary from family to family, but how long on average do you spend with a family generally? And what's your measures of success and outcomes? Because I think the service you guys can provide or potentially provide is absolutely invaluable. And then just a comment, really, I'm less concerned. I appreciate there's probably better and more appropriate revenues in terms of for this funding, but I think that shouldn't prevent us from potentially allocating those funding tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, absolutely, that's a really good point. We do, we at the point of referral, we make sure we take down all the information that we need from the family so that we can tailor the best support possible. What we are finding is that families that are coming to us have increasingly complex needs. So they're not just struggling with one issue, they're struggling with multiple issues, some of which don't actually materialize at the point of referral. It's only once support is commenced and we've built up that trusted relationship with them that they're able to feel that they can share more of the struggles that they're experiencing. So sometimes when you set out and you start to support a family, they actually require more support than they initially, we initially thought they did. With regards to the average length of support, we are finding that is a bit longer because of the details that I've just shared with you. Generally, the average is about 9 months, which is what we've based this application on. It would be for support for up to 9 months. Moving above and beyond that, if they needed more support, we would perhaps encourage the family to attend one of our family groups so they could receive further support. The way we monitor that support, we have I've lost the word for it, a CRM system, a charity log system, which we can actually store all of our data in, and we have a very good, very thorough system which we can pull statistics off, and we have a systems and information officer that is their specific role to actually pull the data off and make sure that we're monitoring and we're analysing exactly where the support is going and how it's being received. We also conduct surveys of the families that we support and also our volunteers and our staff on an annual basis. And that gives us really good constructive feedback, and it shows us where we're doing things well, where we need to improve, how our services are being received from our beneficiaries. And, we do take them seriously and we do act upon that. And we do certainly, we produce an impact report annually, and we report back some of the findings in that, as well as many other things. So we would certainly be able to feedback from this application. And yeah, so sorry, just on Councillor Thomas's point earlier, if I may just share with you that we do actually receive, I think it's something like 90% of our referrals actually come from healthcare providers. So in terms of the referrals that we receive, we work closely with the intensive family support team. And if we do need to refer to mental health services or wherever, we do work closely in partnership with all of these organisations.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go next to Sadie Billing.
Hiya. It was just that's probably a small question. You mentioned that was 3 families in Letchworth. Was it actually the families that was Letchworth, Baldock and Hitchin that you were referring to earlier? Or are there 3 families in Letchworth that required help as well?
That's a very good point. I'm just going to check I have so many figures going around in my head. Forgive me if I just check the details. Yes, 3 are waiting for support in Letchworth, that's correct.
So to follow on from that then, you've chosen one specific family. How is it that you decide on who it is you're able to help, or are you seeking funding for the additional 2 families? And does it also cost differently based on the support they require?
Yes, so with regards to the support, every single family receives tailored support for their needs, and we would obviously consider them all on an individual basis as to how long that support would take place for. In terms of the families that are waiting for support, there are instances when we have to turn families away. It's really difficult to do because we know that all families, if they've got to the point where they've been referred to us, then they need support, and it takes a lot often for families to be referred, especially if they're self-referring. No, we would absolutely try to support them. Often it comes down to whether we actually have the volunteers to support them, and obviously it comes down to funding as well. It doesn't mean we're not going to support the other 2 families. We absolutely are. It would be a case of reaching out to our other grant applications. It was merely a case of the amount that we were able to apply for this grant. I don't think it was a case of looking at the families thinking, oh, you're more important. Obviously, it's completely not like that at all. So if there are families that are in need out there, we will do everything that we can to support them.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sadie. Councillor Weeder.
Hiya, yeah. I was just wondering how much would it cost Just do you know how much it would cost to support the other families in Letchworth?
Sorry, I didn't really hear the question. How much would it cost to support other families?
Yeah, you say there's 3 families in Letchworth that would need support as well. I was just wondering how much it would cost to support those families as well.
Sure. Well, the costing in this application, so what we've done, we've broken down all of our costings so that it's an average of how much we would anticipate a family to how much it would cost us to support a family on a 3-monthly basis, a 6-monthly basis, 9 months and 12 months. So the costing that's in here is what we would estimate the cost to be for up to 9 months support. So if the other families waiting for support had similar needs and they needed a similar length of support, then it would be pretty much the same cost.
Full disclosure to everybody. Yeah, no, that's fine. Full disclosure to everybody. I do have a severely autistic daughter myself, so I would agree with Councillor Prendergast's point about resources available, and having dealt with sort of at county level special educational needs people, and having had my social worker for my daughter change 4 times in 6 months without actually having to see them. I would say that the work that Home Start do is pretty vital. I would like to propose this funding.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm just going to hold that for a second, Councillor Weeder, just because we're still going through questions, and then I'll invite proposals afterwards. But thank you very much. Councillor Levitt.
Yeah, I think I really need to come in at this point because I'm picking up on what Tasmin said, and it's about this is aimed at a specific family. The funding, I'm really uncomfortable with it. I've got great support for Home Start Hearts and what they do, but targeting a specific family gives me some concerns. And one of those is that it doesn't actually fit with our eligibility for grants criteria. And I've got that set up in front of me at the moment. And we're eligible for funding as activities, events, equipment, publicity and publication, repairs and maintenance, site and building works, training workshops, travel and transport, not overseas, venue hire and refreshments, not alcohol. I'm really uncomfortable with this as a grant, and it's setting us something that perhaps social services be more involved with, and Home Start Hearts as a project. If it was part of a project, and it was a project that we were funding, and I'd be quite happy with it. But I feel setting a precedent targeting specific families I'm really uncomfortable with it, Chair. Really uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Levitt. Councillor Allen. Amy.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so on the basis of what other people have said as well, I really sympathise with what you're doing and the cause and who you're helping. As an autistic person myself and in a neurodivergent family, we're a big mixed bag here. I'm really grateful that there is something out there along with the other organisations, charities that can really try and deep dive into these needs. However, I can only think about the comments that David has made and others have made about the allocation of these funds for one family. Granted, they are no less deserving or more deserving than anybody else, but I know that we've turned down things in the past because of the sheer cost on an individual impact that would actually be received. And although that obviously this is over across 9 months, works out about £55 a week, I'm not sure about this allocation of funding for it to help one family, but I completely sympathise with the cost of the help that's needed. And again, as David has pointed out about the allocation of funding for what the actual grant is for, I'm quite happy to propose a deferral for us to maybe, as an area forum committee, deep dive this a little bit and maybe look into it some more. But I don't think this is give me a second. I don't think this is a suitable allocation of the volume of funds for what it's going to be, and I feel profoundly awful pointing this out to the in this way. This is actually quite a horrible situation to find myself having to point out. So, but really appreciate what the charity is actually doing though. So,
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Daniel Allen, is this on that point, or are you asking a question to Liz?
This isn't a question to Liz, just checking there will be some form of debate before you ask for a proposal.
Oh, so, well, what I'm going to ask is if there are any more questions for Liz. If not, I believe that what we now do, and I'm sure Danny will correct me if I'm wrong, is that the next item is to ask for a proposal and that be seconded. Then we debate that proposal and vote on that proposal. If that proposal goes through, then that is the recommendation. If the proposal fails, then we can invite another proposal, that second debate on that proposal, and then voting. I'm going to go over to Danny just to double check that that's correct.
I think I followed you on that one. Yes, we can do it that way. I see some hands are raised, so we might have a few opinions on that, but that is the route that I would take. Yes, Chair.
Thank you, Danny. I'm going to go to Councillor Amy Allen.
I would like to propose a deferral to the next meeting so that we can discuss this a bit more and look into it a little bit more, because I don't want to just knock it away when we could do something differently.
Thank you very much, Councillor Allen. Councillor Prendergast.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I have got a question, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I just wanted to follow up. If we were to provide the money, is it a case that you would be able to start
Chair,
working?
point of order.
Sorry, yes, Councillor Allen.
You've got a proposal. You need to ask for a seconder before any form of debate or question.
That's fair enough. Thank you, Councillor Allen. Sorry, Councillor Prendergast. I'll just stop you there. Can I have a seconder for the motion proposed by Councillor Allen? Councillor Levitt, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll now move to debate, and I'll go back to Councillor Prendergast. Thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Prendergast.
Thanks, Chair. I assume it is okay for me to ask this question.
Yeah, I'm happy for a question to be asked in this
appreciate your
part.
flexibility. Thank you. I just wanted to ask, if we were to award the money, or the money was to be awarded, would you be able to start working with the family almost straight away?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If the money isn't awarded, I assume that family will miss out on the support they could get up until you secure funding elsewhere.
Yeah, that is correct. That's exactly how it would work. As long as we have a volunteer available, and I believe we do, then yes, they could be matched immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Prendergast. Councillor Weeder.
Sorry, that was pretty much the same question I was going to ask myself. Sorry.
No problem. Councillor Daniel Allen. You're on mute, Daniel.
I'm personally not happy with the deferral. I feel that actually then puts the family in a position where they're in limbo. The work can't start, but they also can't look for grant funding for anywhere else. I'll make recommendations for other places to look at grant funding, such as the Letchworth Civic Trust. But I feel that if we do a deferral, we are literally putting somebody in limbo, as opposed to a yes or a no enabling further grant funding to be available. When it comes to the next part, I'll speak again.
No, thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Prendergast, is that a legacy hand, or?
It was a legacy hand, but I will enter into debate if I'm allowed. Are we at that stage now, or?
Yeah, normally I'd say they know, but as you've asked, you asked a question, so I'll allow you to come in on the debate.
Okay, that's fine. Equally, I'm happy to wait if you rather. So I really do think, councillors, we need to look at the bigger picture here. Now, I have no doubt there are more appropriate avenues for this type of funding. I take the points you've made, but that should not prevent us from helping where we can. These are residents of our town, okay, and we can provide funding to help them. Is it the most appropriate use of our money? Perhaps not, for the points that Councillor Levitt has pointed out, and Councillor Allen's. But really, let's look at the bigger picture. We have an opportunity to help what is a wonderful organisation to provide support to some of the most vulnerable residents in our town. And we can argue about whether that's going to be something we consistently do moving forward. And I take those points, but let's not miss that opportunity tonight to provide that absolutely crucial funding, please, on a matter of what is essentially policy, should we say. I think that would be inappropriate and probably quite unreasonable as well.
Thank you very much, Councillor Prendergast. Councillor Levitt.
Yeah, I think what Councillor Prendergast has said is exactly why I'm really uncomfortable with even seeing this in the first place in the current form. I would have preferred to see it in another form, in a form of a project, and in that way I wouldn't have had really any problem with it. But I really do feel like we're almost being held to. It's a horrible thing to say, almost being held to ransom here. If we don't give the grant, the family doesn't get. Am I correct in saying that? If we don't give the grant tonight, then the family doesn't get the help.
I'll just
Sorry, is that a question for me?
Yeah, I'll bring you back in here, Liz. The question, I believe, from Councillor Levitt was if we don't give the grant tonight, the family won't receive the help detailed in the grant application. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Thomas.
Yeah, I take on board Councillor Prendergast's point, but it's one household. It's not a community project, and I think I share Councillor Levitt's sort of deep discomfort about being in this position, and that's from the perspective of being actively involved in supporting families like this in other ways. This is feeling quite inappropriate, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Thomas. Is there any more debate on this proposal? I've got a hand up.
I don't know if I'm able to debate.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to Danny on this. No, unfortunately not. But thank you, Sadie. So if there is any more debate from councillors, okay, I'm going to ask that we move to a vote on this then. So what I would like, the proposal as is for a deferment of this grant application. So I would like to see virtual hands first for the deferment of this grant application, please. Sadie Billing, would you be able to take your hand down? Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you very much. I am seeing 6 hands there, Danny. Can you confirm that for me?
Yeah, that's correct, Chair.
Thank you very much. Can those who have put their hands up now put them down again, please? Thank you very much. Okay, can I now see hands against the proposal to defer, please? Thank you very much. I'm seeing 4 hands there. Danny, can you confirm that for me?
That is correct, Chair, and I've noted them as well.
Thank you very much. Can those that have their hands up, can you put them down for me? Councillor Weeder, would you mind popping your hand down? Sorry. And can I see any abstentions, please? Okay, there are no abstentions, in which case the vote, as I read it, is 6 votes for deferment, 4 against. So the motion carries, and we will defer this application to the next meeting. Yes, Councillor Daniel Allen.
Please, just to try and get the support as soon as possible, please consider messaging me and I'll put you in contact with the Letchworth Civic Trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Levitt. You're muted, Councillor Levitt.
Sorry, Chair, but the deferment will also be brought to the attention of the executive member, etc. So there's nothing to stop them overriding our decision.
No, as Councillor Levitt rightly points out, this is the deferment is a recommendation from the committee to the executive member for community and partnerships. So it will be in the gift of the executive member to award or not award the grant. And so I personally, I'm speaking personally from the chair, I hope we will see this deferment come back. But as I've said, that is within the gift of the executive member. But thank you very much for coming and speaking to us tonight. Councillor Thomas.
Just wanted to know if I can note, Chair, I do think there's been a couple of times if this grants, I know that this forum is a new form of issuing these grants, but we do need much stronger parameters because I don't want to ever be in this sort of situation again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Thomas, and I'm more than inclined to agree with that. And it is something that I will bring up with the executive member for community and partnerships based off the experience that we've had in this meeting. Thank you very much all, and thank you to Liz for presenting tonight. We're now going to move on to the next presentation, which is Laura Hyde from Resolve. So can I invite Laura to present, please? Yes, sorry, Councillor Daniel Allen.
I think technically, because as Chair, Resolve are one of my charities and I've been working very obviously to try and promote them, I think I might have a conflict, so I'm going to withdraw from this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's absolutely fine. Thank you, Councillor Allen. Are there, just while we're at this point, sorry, Laura, are there any other councillors who wish to declare an interest in this item? No, thank you very much. In which case, I'd like to invite Laura Hyde to present, please.
Hi there. Hi, good evening. I'll try and keep this brief. I'm aware of the time, and you've got other things to on your agenda. So I'm the Chief Exec of Resolve, and we provide drug and alcohol treatment from our service in Letchworth. So our purpose is to meet the needs of local people who need substance misuse treatment, are homeless or experiencing poverty. So we help people move to a manageable, positive lifestyle where they can contribute to and enhance the communities where they live. So we've delivered free drug and alcohol treatment in North Hart since 2018, and this was in response to local demand because of the lack of services in the area. We also run some other projects, a homelessness project and a community cafe, and another drug and alcohol service in Welwyn and Hatfield Borough, but this application refers to our service in Letchworth. We provide high quality psychosocial abstinence-based treatment, which are unique, flexible and personalised to suit the individual. Now, psychosocial treatment actually means it's structured. We do group therapy, individual key work sessions and counselling. We are also piloting evening sessions for people who work, and also a friends and family group sessions, and support from yourselves would allow us to continue with these pilots. They're proven to be really popular and successful. And I said that we're abstinence-based, and whilst abstinence is the goal, it's not a prerequisite of treatment. Relapse is common during the recovery journey, and it's not unusual for clients to actually have to repeat our programme. And we believe that clients are much more likely to commit to long-term recovery and avoid relapse if their treatment can coexist alongside their personal circumstances, which is why we try and personalise our services and make them flexible. We only require clients to attend 2 sessions a week, which allows them to retain employments and other commitments, which is essential for their mental health. Interestingly, and it's really important to us, the majority of our team have lived experience, which is important for our values, but also to make sure that our services are what people need and they want and they can engage with. We have really close relationships with our clients. They're with us for quite a long time. It's quite intensive treatment. And so feedback is really important to us. And they feed into our service delivery. And this is one client quote from a client from Letchworth. "Attending Resolve literally saved my life. I will be eternally grateful to Resolve. I can look forward to the future with hope and positivity." We run an annual client survey, which shows that our clients really value our work. We've had 100% of our respondents said they'd recommend us to someone else, and we have 96% satisfaction rate. Another client said, "The staff and support at Resolve are amazing. These groups have been essential support for me. The advice and lack of judgment useful and refreshing. It's a safe, comfortable place, and I look forward to attending." We've also got some impressive outcomes from our work, and these are from clients actually at Letchworth. 82% of these clients reported an improvement in physical health and 67% in psychological health. Almost 80% of clients report an improvement in the overall quality of life, and 75% report improvements in relationships. And our work feeds into your priorities in terms of benefiting local communities, because we help turn lives around, which means that people can keep their jobs or return to work. There's improved health, happiness, self-reliance and responsibility. And there's a reduction in drug and alcohol-related crime and antisocial behaviour, resulting in improvements to the local environment. And friends and family get support. And it costs approximately, I'm going to say approximately, it's actually quite specific, it's £1,365 for a client for each year. And last year we helped 24 clients who lived in Letchworth or have that postcode. And that's why we have to continually seek funding for our work. We get no money from Herts County Council for our work. We have to self-generate every single penny of what we do. All of our services are free to clients. 36% of our referrals come from partner organisations, but we get no associated funding for those referrals. So we spend a lot of time raising money ourselves, writing bids, and quite literally every penny helps. We get very small donations from individuals, from partners, from the public. People are very supportive of our work. So we're requesting funding to help us continue our work, but specifically those pilots, as I've mentioned. And I'd like to end with a last quote from a client who lives in North Herts. "My life has been increasingly better since belonging to Resolve. Having struggled chronologically for a large part of my adult life, I lost everything. I was in despair and very sick. Every intervention that was thrown at me over the years from elsewhere was futile and to no avail. Through Resolve's love, understanding and genuine care, I now have something I haven't seen in many years, hope. I can't put a price on that." And I've had a few counsellors come and visit our service in Letchworth. And if anybody would like to come and see what we do, you'd all be very welcome. Individually, maybe not all together.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Laura. I'm going to open the floor now to questions and take Chair's prerogative to ask the first, which is the grant application says you've applied for £1,500, but the total project cost is £165,000. Would you be able to detail some of the other sources of funding that you've got? Because obviously there's quite a large disparity between the amount you're asking for and the total cost of the project.
Absolutely. If you'd like to fund all of that, honestly, I'd be very, I'd accept that, but I'm sure that you can't. So we have to look elsewhere, and we apply to trusts and foundations for quite a bit of our work. So, for example, the National Lottery supporters, there are Herts Community Foundation are very supportive. We've got other funders called like Garfield Western. So some of the national funders, Also, Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation also support us as well. So trusts and foundations plus individual donations, community support, and we also get some pro bono support. So, for example, we've got a local filmmaker, a very good filmmaker, who's going to come in and make a video of what we do and place it very much in the town of Letchworth and build that around it. So we get support financially, but also pro bono support as well. So a lot of my time is generating the income to keep that door open in Letchworth.
Fab. And so you're confident then that if we were to give you the 1,500 tonight, that you would hit the total amount that you needed to run the project that you're asking for the grant for?
Yes, absolutely. And this and what I heard some of the comments earlier in the other application, and your contribution would help with the pilot specific. Sorry, it's late. My teeth are falling out. Specifically, so we're piloting the evening session, which is on a Monday night, and also our friends and family groups, and so that contribution would help that pilot continue for a little bit longer. So it's funding a specific project as well as, you know, the wider work, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much, Laura. Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So obviously you've written on your application form that you have applied to the different bodies as well. It'd be good to get an idea of how many individuals you work with that are actually based in Letchworth, and then a rough idea for the rest of North Arts as well, because obviously if you're also working well in. Yeah, I'll start with that one. I might have another question later, Chair.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, last year we supported 24 residents of Letchworth from our service in Letchworth. We supported 18 clients from Baldock. We supported 26 from Hitchin, 3 from Royston. I'm trying to find the others on my list. Interestingly, the place where most of our clients come from is Stevenage. This is both our services, Welling service and Letchworth service, not just Letchworth service. But in North Hearts, for North Hearts residents, majority and most people would come from Hitchin with 26, but Letchworth is second with 24. Does that help? Is that your answer, Councillor Marsh?
Yeah, it's helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I'll hold back the second question, but I would also encourage you to. It'd be good to have a conversation
from southern
Southern
rural one. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
thank you.
I've been
it would be
up
good
since
to have
very early this morning, so running low on energy.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Laura, and thank you, Councillor Marsh. Councillor Levitt.
Yeah, my question was actually going to be pretty much the same as what Daniel's just asked, actually. But you mentioned there about Stevenage and other places. Our form that we've got in front of us just says covers the whole of Letchworth, but what areas do you actually cover? What's the total area cover?
We will cover because we're not funded by statutory agencies. We can actually do what we want to. So we don't limit who uses our services. So we don't say you have to live in Letchworth or you have to live in Welling. So we have 2 bases, one in Welling Garden City and one in Letchworth. And we raise our income. So we don't limit where people come from to use our services.
Okay, thank you for that.
Does that answer your question? So, but when we look at our stats, all our clients live in Hertford. We've got 1 from Bedford, 1 from Biggleswade, 2 from Enfield, but majority of our clients come from Hertfordshire, and we've got 1 from Luton, but they tend to be around where we're based. If that's but we do get funding. So we're in Welling Garden City, and we do get funding from. I do the same sort of presentation and got some money from Welling Hatfield Borough Council for support of that site, of that service as well. So We get funding from a whole range of different places because we have to. It's the only way we can keep our door open.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Councillor Levitt, and thank you very much, Laura. Are there any other questions for Laura? If not, thank you very much for the presentation, Laura. I'm going to ask for a proposal on this application from councillors, please. Yes, Councillor Marsh.
Chair, as previously, I'm happy to propose this motion for the 1,500 and very happy to speak in the debate as well.
Thank you, Councillor Marsh. Can I get a seconder for Councillor Marsh's proposal, please? Yes, Councillor Weeder.
Happy to second.
Thank you very much, Councillor Weeder. We will go now to the debate then. Can I ask for councillors for the debate? Yeah, is that a legacy hand, Councillor Weeder, or are you wanting to speak? That's fine. Councillor
Sorry.
Marsh.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that obviously it would be great if more individuals were engaging in Letchworth itself, because of course we are focusing on Letchworth. However, I do just want to put across the position that the more that we can do locally and throughout the surrounding areas, the less that will, the preventative work this will allow to be done will save money in the long term. So as much as this is an investment now in a particular project, by reducing the amount of drugs and alcohol on the streets, we will of course see savings across the board for Hertfordshire County Council, for North Herts Council, for North Herts Police. So as much as in the grand scheme, 1,500 is an awful lot of money still, but the money that we will take back and we will save in the long run, not just for us, but also for our partner agencies, I think is well worth it. And we can already see in practice the results that are coming on. And of course, it's only a small part of their budget in the total budget. And actually, if Letchworth can help their way, especially seeing as we have the base in Letchworth, I think that'll be really, really great.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marsh. Councillor Levitt.
Just to say, I'm much happier supporting something like this, where we're putting money in a project, putting money in a pot for a project that can be used quite widely in different ways, and it does tackle a what's becoming a larger and larger problem. I think we're seeing that more on the streets and that. So happy to support this one.
Thank you very much, Councillor Levitt. Is there any more debate on this motion? If not, I'm going to ask that we move to a vote, please. So can I see from councillors virtual hands for the motion, please? Thank you. I think that is unanimous and the motion is carried. So congratulations, Laura. Obviously, as we've said before, this is a recommendation that will now go to the Executive Member for Community and Partnerships, but the committee will recommend that you receive the £1,500 for the grant. And thank you very much for presenting tonight.
Thank you very much for listening to me. And as I say, if anybody would like to come and visit, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Councillor Thomas. Was that yeah, Councillor Daniel Allen?
I'm going to be cheeky, if I may, Chair.
Yeah.
There's another
depends what it is.
opportunity to support Resolve and Feed Up
yeah.
Warm Up by going along to the Chair's charity event, which tickets are on sale now on the 1st of March. Thank you.
I think we'll definitely allow that comment, and I'd like to encourage everyone here to grab a ticket for that event. It's going to be fantastic. Councillor Weeder.
Yeah, I believe the DJ is extremely talented at that event.
Thank you very much, Councillor Weeder. Okay, we will move on to the next item on the agenda now, which is the grants and community update. Just before we do, we have a few items to go through, including some presentations, and we've been here now for a while. So can I suggest that we just take a 5-minute comfort break? and resume back at 9:20, if that's okay with everybody. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you at 9:20. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. We will resume in the next minute or so. I'll just wait until everyone has come back from the break. Okay. If it's okay with the form, because we're running a lot later than what we planned, I'm going to shift the agenda around just a little bit, and I'm going to invite Tamsin Thomas to introduce Rebecca Klipstein from the Friends of Baldock Road Recreation Ground as our next item. So I'll hand over to Tamsin. Sorry, Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Chair. I'm delighted that we're joined tonight by Rebecca, who has been pivotal in the formation of the Friends of Baldock Road Recreation Ground. As a group that is just coming together, and we heard earlier from Friends of Norton Common about how powerful these Friends of group. And Rebecca's been doing a lot of work with local residents and through town surveys to understand the priorities for Baldock Road Recreation Ground, which, as you all know, is a well-used service both for sports clubs across the district, but also families. It's on a commuter path, dog walkers, their children. There's a range of users who use the rec, and we wanted to use this Ward Matters item for Rebecca to sort of share out the community findings of the work that she's been doing. And I know that both myself and Councillor Debenham have been incredibly pleased to be able to sort of support some of this work, and want to also thank Andrew Mills and the Green Spaces team for their support as well. But I'll hand over to Rebecca for her to share the top lines of her findings.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you all hear me?
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, so thanks for having me here tonight. I'm Rebecca and I'm a resident of the Phoenix estate that's located just behind the Baldock Recreation Ground. So I'm here tonight representing the Friends of Baldock, and it's basically a community-driven initiative that was born out of really the desire to address and improve some of the conditions of our park or recreation area. So just to give you a bit of background, this journey really began when I took the initiative to report some of the issues that were taking place on the recreation ground. And actually, after being really frustrated when taking my son to the park. So there was really persistent fly tipping cases, to glass debris that was scattered all around the playground areas. And there's also quite frequent unsettling presence of antisocial behaviors in the park. So I started reporting these issues to the council and then got in touch with Andrew Mills and with Councillor Tamsin Thomas and communicated what the residents thought was the core issue, really, because I did have several discussions with them already in the past. So in summary, we were in the need for a cleaner, safer park and also, let's say, more attractive activities for our children in the playground. So then basically in response to our concerns, there was really a quick reaction from the Green Space team. I have to say we were quite surprised. And after some of the discussions around our priorities, they cut back the hedge areas, they cleaned up the litter, and they also have seeded wildflowers along the borders of the recreation ground, with hopefully some results that we'll see in 2025. This is really a positive response from the council and the Green Areas Manager. And this also prompted the formation of this Friends of group. I know we still have a lot of to learn from other Friends of group within Letchworth, but this is at least the start of a good initiative. So far we've actively engaged with other fellow residents through our Facebook group. We've also tried to report more instances of fly tipping, organized also a litter picking event with the residents. We also have participated in a survey to voice our collective opinions. So far the survey received, I think, around 37 responses, where we highlighted the main priorities to improve this recreation ground. So maybe I won't go into all of the details of the survey, but maybe just to mention some of the most important points. One key concern is the need for improved street lighting across the path to make it safer. And I do believe that the council is actively already working on a bid to address this issue. Another priority was the maintenance of the hedge areas, which I have to say, thankfully, that was completed before the end of the year. And the residents are very satisfied, and they've already mentioned how much safer they feel when they're in the recreation ground. But one ongoing challenge that we do face, and I have to say this is still continuing, is the open drug dealing problem that we have in the park. This does remain an ongoing challenge and really the focal point for our group, because we are all families that live around this park. So sometimes it's true that we don't really feel that safe when we cross the park. So we do want to work with the council, and we would like to try an effective solution, such as perhaps maybe more PCSO support. But really we're happy to discuss and open to any recommendations. Another priority for us is the fencing off of the toddler play area that we have in the park. This request was supported by both, not only the dog walkers from the recreation ground, but also the playground users. I think the dog walkers are always a little bit afraid of what can happen, and the playground users are also afraid that maybe a dog will, just bump a child or have any other problem. So we're also aware that the recreation ground has been recommended already for some plans to redevelop, but we still believe that we do need some changes to enhance the appeal of the park to the families. And actually, if you do come to the estate that's next to the park, it's mostly families that live in this residential area. And we also think that this will hopefully deter those with the antisocial behavior as this space becomes busier, because we do have to say that even in the nice summer days, the park can be quite empty if there's not something going on like football or other sports activities. So while we are aware that some progress has been made already, there are still some areas of concern. We've noted that the current bins that are in the park are quite small and they're open. And this also presents a challenge and a danger, because the litter can be sometimes all over the playing area. And sometimes the items within that litter is quite dangerous, especially on windy days. So I think that addressing this issue along with the reevaluation of the location of these bins could also be another priority for our group. So yeah, just to finish, in conclusion, the Friends of Baldock Recreation Group is really committed to the improvement of this area, and together with the support of other residents and the council, we really think that we can improve this space to be more vibrant, more safe and welcoming, not only to the neighbors and the residents of the recreation ground, but also all of the residents of Letchworth. So yes, thank you very much, and thanks for letting me raise this today.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Rebecca, and thank you very much, Tamsin, for Councillor Thomas, for helping to facilitate this tonight. Councillor Bloxham.
Thank you very much. This is going to end up in a question probably directed to Andrew, because you're there, Andrew. Sorry about this, but if I heard you right, it's a bit annoying that you had made attempts to get something done, and it appears that you weren't heard until a councillor or two councillors got involved. Then we seem to have put it out of the bag, or started to anyway. And I know I'm putting you on the spot, Andrew. I'm not expecting an expert answer, but is there any reason behind that? Is it a failure in the communications that we've got, or is it we just weren't able to do it at the time, or was it just because, well, it was councillors that have actually asked for this, which obviously it shouldn't be that?
I think primarily before Rebecca actually raised the issues there, she was probably very much a lone voice, and it was only the fact that the local councillors then got behind the issue that it was made more apparent that the scale of the concern and the issues were made then known to myself and my colleagues. So
once we were aware, and Rebecca actually hosted a meeting at our home where we attended. We was actually then a catalyst for us to be able to do something within the resources that we've got immediately available to us. As a consequence of that, just as an update for the committee, the Green Space Management Strategy identifies a budget for playground renovations of 180k annually to renovate 2 sites per annum. Those sites are identified in agreement with the executive member for leisure and environment and my service director, and I report to them in the briefings that I have with them the findings of the independent annual inspection reports that we have on playgrounds particularly, and also the comments from my colleagues in my team and our local knowledge. As a result of the information and knowledge that we have of Baldock Road, we've put that up as one of the sites for investment for the 2024-25 financial year. And that decision is still under discussion, and we're hopeful that we can start moving on forward on that. We would, if it's approved, then we would employ Groundwork East to undertake consultation with the residents and the local community and the users of Baldock Road Recreation Ground. And the issues that Rebecca's highlighted, such as fencing around the playground and litter bins, for example, would obviously come out of those conversations. And we'd be able to prioritise those within the investment that we make. Obviously, decisions have to be made about whether we do provide a fence, because we normally undertake fence installation as a result of a risk assessment. That risk assessment would be, is the playground near a road? Is it near a river or other hazard that is there? And as we know, Baldock Road Recreation Ground, the playground is at the back of the site, and there's no immediate risk to the users or the visitors there, apart from the perceived risk that of dogs. And while and that risk would be the same as if you're walking across the site or whether you're in the playground. And the cost of fencing is really expensive. So the argument would be put to the residents: do you want a fence or do you want an additional piece of playground equipment? And that would be a decision that would need to be made. So yeah, so we can do works with the reducing the shrub borders and things like that to improve visibility like we've done, and we can react to that reasonably quickly and within resources that we have. So I hope that answered your question. I haven't dribbled on too long, and I apologise if I have.
No, that's fine. And Chair, if I could just come back, you're absolutely fine. It was just really to find out about that communication. The only thing I'll pick you up on slightly or talk about really is come to the Grange. I'm sure you know the Grange recreation ground there. Got a fence around the children's area there, and that's not necessarily near a road. And there's no water or anything like that, and it's got the sort of cattle grid so that to stop dogs going in. So I would say that to me is I think that's a very good, even if it is a perception of risk, it's still making people feel safer. So I will always support that sort of thing anyway. But okay. No, thank you, Andrew, and sorry for putting you on the spot.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Councillor Bloxham. Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Andrew. It's not just the dogs. It's obviously the primary function of the park is actually a recreation ground, which means footballs being pelted into the play area, basketballs coming into it, which obviously, given that a lot of that play equipment is aimed at 18 months to 2-year-olds, those incoming projectiles can cause issues or result in those people not being able to use the facility if there's the sports teams there, and also I think in conjunction with the fact that that playing park is directly on the route of where joyriders on their motorbikes quite regularly, and I've seen it twice myself using the park crossing. So I think there's sort of the proposal of the fence, while it doesn't seem to fit within the normal parameters of the surveys we do, that is really important that we actually take into account the unique sort of placement and what's actually happening in that specific park, alongside the sort of noted best practice, noting that that's somewhat generalized, but and just to sort of just to highlight as well, Simon, it was actually Andrew who recommended that I get involved and start supporting, so that there's been plenty of officer proactivity and the timeline, and also it's because it's in my patch, I've been previously raising my interest in being involved and knowing what's going on in that park. So it's not that it was escalated to councillors so much as councillor wanting to know what was going on with it.
That's great. Thank you very much, Councillor Thomas. Councillor Prendergast.
Thanks, Chair. It sounds like there's quite a bit of criminal activity as well going on in the park, particularly around the drug dealing aspect. I was just wondering, Andrew, I assume this has been raised with our community safety team, who will be able to liaise with the police. There's a potential of making that a hotspot area for patrols.
Yes, it's been made aware to our community safety team, and in fact, myself and one of my colleagues, we met with the crime prevention officer from the police on site to have a look at the issues and to see how we can improve the personal safety on the site. He actually undertook the preparation for our meeting to review the number of incidents reported, and he basically Baldock Road Recreation Ground has only had one incident or two incidents reported over the last couple of years, which is quite a low number. So this is, I know that Rebecca has stated that there's drug dealing and things like that. The police will only be able to respond if they've got the evidence, and that needs people to actually report what they see on there. And then once they'll be able to allocate the resources to respond appropriately. So I did challenge the officer that I met on site on that, and he was quite open and sort of said that, without the evidence, we can't do anything. I can't create that evidence because they won't accept me saying secondhand I've received a comment or a report. It has to be, unfortunately, the individuals that witness it that need to report it. So I really would encourage the people, the residents, visitors, anybody that see that. I recommend my own colleagues even to report those issues to the police as and when they see them. I'm sure Rebecca's been doing that since we've had those discussions, and that will collate over a period of time to create a good baseline of information.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Councillor Prendergast. Andrew, is there a way that we can push that information out to partners around there and make them aware of that, or just re-up that information, remind them that that's the case?
Certainly with anybody that myself and my colleagues are coming into contact with that raising ASB issues, then we're automatically, our automatic response is to point people towards the police, whether it's the telephone inquiry lines or if it's an emergency, obviously it's 999, and we take it on board from there. Colleagues in the community safety department, they have regular meetings. We've had discussions about a number of locations across the district with personal safety and safety for females particularly, which is a topic anyway, and Baldock Road has, because of the profile it's now got, has been discussed.
Great, thank you very much, Andrew. We'll go back to Rebecca.
Yes, thank you. No, I just wanted to mention as well in regards to the reporting, because I do know that we had mentioned as well in the past that we also reported travelers coming to the Baldock Recreation Ground one weekend. And this had been reported to the officers by the residents of the estate. And when we contacted the Green Space sort of team, they said that nothing had been reported about these travelers. So I'm just not sure if there is something missing in the communication about this reporting, if all of the reports are in the same place or if they go to different departments. Because I'm just worried that different people are reporting different issues and they're not being collected appropriately.
So, as we discussed, Rebecca, I had no knowledge of the travellers visiting the site, and I've still found nothing to of that report. So, if it was reported to the police, that information would not be made automatically known to myself, and it would not be disclosed to the council unless it is part of a broader report, or we make our own specific enquiries. So if we don't know of anything, then we wouldn't be asking the question. So unfortunately, I have found no evidence of those travellers there. You said they were there for the weekend and they'd gone by the Monday or something. So
yeah, we even had like a notice from, I think, one of the pages of Letchworth saying that they were aware that these travelers were on the recreation ground and that they were leaving, that they were going to let them stay until Sunday and then they were leaving something. So I think it was quite a known issue in Letchworth. They had damaged other areas of the town before as well.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's news to me. I'm usually in the loop with the regards travellers, because obviously we want to try and make our sites as secure as possible to prevent them accessing them. And I don't recall having those issues at Baldock Road Rec, and I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thank you very much, both. I'd like to just suggest as well that in future, then I think it's probably worth, Rebecca, if you're seeing or hearing any of this, to advise people to let Andrew know directly, as well as the police, so that we can make sure that these issues are being sorted promptly. But thank you. Councillor Hone.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm surprised that Andrew says he didn't hear about the travellers. Certainly, it was common knowledge. They wrecked the entrance, the woodwork across there. They gouged into the grass itself, and they left a lot of litter, which NHDC or NHC collected. So I think that there's people up at Gurdon Road who knew about this event, because we had to put repairs in place of the fence around the car park, and we resurfaced some of the grass in which got damaged, and pick up all the residual that was left over that weekend. So it was certainly a knowledge of the residents, and I'm surprised that perhaps Andrew wasn't in that loop, but North Arts Council were in that loop for sure.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hone. I think, as you said, we've got to take Andrew at his word that he wasn't in the loop. But what I would ask is that, Andrew, if you're happy to work with me and Danny to find out what the process is through the council and why you weren't involved or aware about this particular issue, then I think that's something we should do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But thank you very much, Councillor Hone, for that. Have we got any other questions for Rebecca? If not, thank you very much, Rebecca, for presenting to us.
Thank you.
And thank you, Tamsin, for Councillor Thomas, I'm so sorry, for facilitating as well. We will now move on to the next item, which Danny has popped in the chat. I'm going to invite Lena Queen from Create Community to present to us.
Good evening. Wow, that's a lot to take in over this evening. So please bear with me if I lose track of my words and what I'm actually trying to say. Is there any chance I can share my screen, Councillor Tom?
Yeah, Danny or IT support, would you be able to give the permissions to Lena to be able to share, please?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. I'll just change the settings for you.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
I just also wanted to say it's really inspiring hearing what everybody's doing in the community. There's a lot of people I haven't actually heard of before, so it's really good to know what's actually going on.
Hi, Lena. If you're able to give it a try now, but I'll obviously let you know if it hasn't come up, if that's okay.
Yeah, it has. Thank you so much. Okay, now it's actually learning how to, bear with me a second. So hello everybody, my name is Lena and I'm representing Create Community tonight. Danny invited me along just to give a quick overview of who we are and how we are offering support through the cost of living crisis. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet. It was 10 minutes, but I'll try and put it down to maybe 5. So we are a not-for-profit organisation in Letchworth Garden City. And we are funded to work with adults 19 plus. We generally work with people who are socially isolated, who are disengaged from the community and long-term unemployed. And I was going to ask a question is, can you think of a time that you wanted to make a change or you needed support, but you just didn't know where to start? And then also, can you think of a time that you received support and you felt so much better about your situation? So we kind of like to think we'd love to think that we address both of those things. So a lot of time people walk through our door, they want to know what we're all about, what's on offer, but they also don't know where to start and what support they need. So we're here to help them with that. And we do that through various services. So we offer courses. So we do health and well-being, moving towards employment, making sense of numbers and living in a digital age. And we feel like it's not usually the event itself that's stressful in life, but it's the way we deal with it. And with our courses, we feel like we can help people build their confidence around these areas and give them tools to add to their toolbox to create a better life for themselves or help them to manage challenges around these areas. We also offer mentoring, so we do one-to-one support for people to gain employment, volunteering, or some sort of studying. We work with settled residents as well, so we have a mentor for specifically working with settled residents. And then we have a mentor who works with anybody in the Hertfordshire community who's looking for one of those things. We have the Staying Connected Cafe, which is to support people with technology. We also have a volunteer who could work one-to-one with someone on this as well. And we have the L Word, which is sessions where we explore loneliness and helping people to feel connected with the community, but not just the community, with themselves as well. I did run that session today, so please bear with me again if I'm kind of losing track or losing my words, because it's been a long day and it's probably been a long day for you guys as well. And something that came out of this session today actually was people feeling even more socially isolated and lonely because of the cost of living crisis. They're prioritising their bills, so they're not able to do the things that they love to do. They're not able to go out with their friends. They're not able to spend money on the things that they enjoy because they're prioritising where that money goes, which can create feelings of loneliness. And my favourite day of the week is Friday. And that's not just because it's Friday, but it's because it's our community day, where we are open to everyone in North Hertfordshire. It's mainly Letchworth residents that come to see us. And in this space, this is just space where you can just be, where you can just come for a cup of coffee, cup of tea, take the pressure off. And you can also access support where you need it. We also have lunch provided by Best Before Cafe. I don't know if you've heard of Best Before Cafe. And it's really nice because we're helping people have a hot meal. And sometimes it's their only hot meal for the whole week, which blows my mind. And but they feel like they're working towards Best Before mission, because their mission is to feed people and not landfill. So they don't just feel like they're eating the food for free, they're actually giving something as well. And again, we are finding the cost of living crisis is really affecting people with food, with, again, socializing, with doing the things that they enjoy. And something that's come from research that we've done and just conversations we've had with people coming into the hub is just, we need more drop-ins. So we only have one drop-in a week, where the community comes together. We are open every day, but they're still not maybe getting that proper social time. So more drop-ins is definitely needed within the community, and that's not going to cost, basically. And then I just thought I'd give like an overview. This is like a what's on newsletter of what we do through the month, what's on offer. There's a lot there, but if you want to be added to the list of people to receive that, I'm more than happy to add you to the list. Maybe we can connect after. And then all the amazing organisations that we work closely with. So we're funded by Step to Skills for our courses. We work with Best Before Cafe. We've got a new project with Beauty Beats in Letchworth, which I'm excited about. We've got a community cafe in Spirella, where people are going to be able to do some work experience and gain some social skills and lots of other stuff that we can talk about on another day. But yeah, so these are some of the organisations we work with. And we're always looking for new opportunities to work with other organisations, and again, to attract as many people as we can within the area to help them. We're really all about empowering others and not doing the work for them, but just, you know, shining that light back in them to know that they have the tools within them to be able to handle situations. And this is how to make a referral. So it's easy to make a referral for our website. You can email us, give us a call, or pop in and see us. We always love to see people come in for a cup of tea, coffee. Again, I know it's late, so I'm really trying to keep it as, you know, cut down as possible. But if you want to come in and see us and more about what we do, rather than me talking at 100 miles per hour, you're more than welcome to come in. And that's it from me, I think.
That's great, Lena. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? I'll go to Councillor Thomas.
Lena, we're councillors, so we're used to late meetings. So I don't want you. I feel like you should take your time.
Yeah.
You have waited so patiently, and I know there are others still here. But if there's anything that you didn't say, because you were just so conscious of the clock, we are here to hear it, and we really appreciate you being here, and it really was fantastic hearing from your presentation. So I just want to make sure you definitely, I will take Danny's advice, we'll come for a visit, but just if there's anything you've abridged or something, please don't feel pressured on our account. This is one of our favourite meetings. It's much more interesting than when we're tearing into the budget at 11 p.m. So please, don't feel the need to skip over on the good stuff just because of the clock.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. I'd just like to echo what Councillor Thomas has just said as well. Sorry, Lena, you were going to come back.
No, I was just saying I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I was just really aware of time and things. So I really do appreciate it. I probably have missed some stuff, but my brain's gone now. So, but yeah, please do pop by and see us, because there is some people that I don't know on here, and it'd be great to get to know you more.
That's fantastic. I'm sure we absolutely will. Are there any other questions for Lena? If not, thank you very much, Lena, for your presentation. We're now going to go to the next presentation, which is from Christine Lowe at Citizens Advice North Hertfordshire. So, Christine, the floor is yours.
Thank
Do
you very
need
much.
The ability to share screen?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Can we get that sorted, please?
So for those of you who don't know me,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Christine.
Sorry, did you say it was okay to do that now, is it?
If you give it a try, it should be sort of one at a time. I've allowed it. So yeah, as Lena was
Okay, let's have
sharing,
a look.
if you're able to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just before you start, as I say, people are free to leave after presentation, but if you want to stick around, then that's absolutely fantastic as well. Sorry, Christine,
Sorry.
floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So for those of you who don't know me, I work for North Hart Citizens Advice on a project called Letchworth Financial Health, which is funded by the Heritage Foundation. There's two arms to this project. One is that we do deliver one-to-one debt and benefit advice for clients, but my side is providing the preventative financial capability workshops. So what I'll do today is, if that's okay, just show you what we have online, our online resources, and then whiz through the cost of living support workshop, and then just take any questions if I may. So when you go to our website, North Hart Citizens Advice, in the top right-hand corner, sorry, can everybody see this? Yeah. Brilliant. When you go to the website, just hit the top right-hand corner, which is Letchworth free information sessions, and you'll come to this page, which will tell you a little bit about our workshops. And what we try to do is we try to run workshops once a month at Create Community, which has been really lovely. And also, as well as workshops, I also run Q&A drop-in sessions, because sometimes people haven't got the time to do a 45-minute workshop, so they can just pop in and ask any type of question they like, which is relating to the cost of living. So if you go to this page, you'll see workshops and Q&A sessions that we're running. There's also some links here. The first one goes to the project page, and it just gives you more information about the project and the one-to-one help. The second one is a really useful one for people. It's National's Cost of Living Data Dashboard, and that gives you information for the whole of the UK. What we're seeing clients come to us with, problems, the clients coming to us with, and such as energy and needing fuel vouchers, etc. So if you've got some 5 minutes, if you wanted to have a look at that I think you'd find that really helpful. On here as well is a useful links page, which I update once a month, and basically it's in categories. So I've got things like budgeting tips, and it's not just links to our sites, but it's links to people like Money Helper and Money Saving Expert. So it's information, it's tools, and it's going to say on a wide range of topics. So again, if you've got 10 minutes, have a look at that and see if there's anything there that you could use. What I'm hoping for today is really, what I'm trying to do is just tell as many people as I can about these online resources and these workshops, that you can pass the information off to to people so yeah, that's what we're going to also try to do over the next couple of months, is try and deliver these workshops to as many frontline workers as we can. So other charities within Letchworth, for example, Mind and the Food Bank, I deliver workshops there. So that they can spread the word as well. There's also a frequently asked questions page. So people, if they've got a question, they can't come in, they can literally just drop the question into me, and then I'm building up this page here as well. One of the things is talking about the community cafes. It's really surprising that not everyone in town knows about the two great community cafes that we have in Letchworth, St Paul's on the first Saturday, and the Wilbrig. So again, it's just spreading the word and letting people know that these facilities are available. Sorry, am I talking too quickly? I am, aren't I?
No, it's all good. Please carry on.
Okay, so and then we've got feedback that we've had from attendees, and then the final bit on this page is all these sessions. So there's a series of 9, we used to call them workshops, but we felt that the connotation of a workshop, people felt they had to do things. So now we've changed the wording to information sessions, so people don't feel too scared about them. But you can see that we've got one for cost of living, budgeting, energy saving, maximising your income, banks and savings, understanding debt, choosing credit, comparing best buys and scams. So for each one of these workshops, if we go into it, there are the slides, so you can look at the slides online, and also any resources that I hand out during the session, they're there online as well. So any questions before I just quickly zip through the cost of living, first of all?
Are there any questions from councillors?
Apologies for those of you that have come and seen this all before.
No, not at all. Yeah, please carry on, Christine.
Okay, so the cost of living one, which is the one that I've delivered to most people, or the one that were our flagship, if you like, because obviously this is affecting everybody. And as you can see, whenever I do deliver, I will update the information. So the information is always regularly getting updated. What this session consists of is we have a look at the government support, we have a look at little ways of reducing costs, energy saving tips, boosting income, budgeting scams, and where to get individual support. So regular support, I tell people about the 150 warm homes discount, the £300 winter fuel payments, the cold weather payments. And also during this slide, I will talk people through the energy price cap, just to explain, although it's a price cap on the unit costs and the standing charges, not a price cap on their actual bills. And we have a little bit of discussion about this and what the current, here's your energy price cap for the current period until the 31st of March. Then we talk about the government, additional government support that's happened during 23-24, the £900 payments to people on benefits, the additional 300 for pensioners, and the additional 150 for people on disabilities. And even though energy prices have gone down, it's really sad because for a lot of people, their bills are going to be higher this winter because of the fact that this year we're not getting that additional £400 that we'd got last year. And then we talk a little bit about reducing costs. We talk about council tax discounts, childcare choices, the tax-free childcare. Again, some people weren't aware of the tax-free childcare, the fact that you can set up an account with the government, and for every 80 pence you pay into it, the government will give you 20 pence back. We look at free school meals, healthy start vouchers. As I say, during the actual workshop, I will go through this, and it's much slower. The workshop lasts about 45 minutes, and we talk about this and we go through the various links, etc. Mobile and broadband social tariffs. It's surprising to find that not everybody realises these exist. Then we talk a little bit about Best Before Cafe, using shopping apps like Olio and Too Good To Go, and also cooking on a bootstrap. So there's about 3 or 4 sites where they've got recipes which have been designed, healthy recipes for less than £1 a portion. So there's Jack Monroe, there's the BBC, there's links there to those websites. Feeding a family on a budget. So again, we've just got, this is one of the handouts that I give out. Just some recipe swaps and clever ways of cooking, etc. Right. We talk about water meters, whether if you've got more bedrooms and you've got people living in your house, it's probably better to ask for a water meter. But what to do if you can't ask for a water meter, how to ask for a water assessment, or if you need additional water because of medical reasons, then you can ask for look into the Water Shore scheme. So things like that we talk about here in this slide. Then we talk about the energy saving tips, so little things you can do without actually costing you money. There's Martin Lewis, who is one of my favourite people in the wide world. It's got lots of tips from his site. There's a few energy efficiency videos here because we know that some people prefer to watch a short video as opposed to reading lots of information. Here's one that just is a little bit of fun, is the from our website actually, is the energy efficiency calculator, where people can slot in, like say for example, you wanted to see how much an oven would cost. So if I used an oven for an hour, that would cost me, using the current unit rate, which is about 27 pence an hour, that would cost me £206 for the year. And then if you compared that to a slow cooker, which admittedly, if you were cooking a meal in a slow cooker, you're probably looking at 4 hours as opposed to 1. But even at that 4 hours, you're still, the comparison is still quite significant. So 1 hour of an oven a day for the year would cost you £206 as opposed to 4 hours on a slow cooker. So little things like that. There's also telling people about the priority register. Again, that's something not everyone realises about, that if you register with the, if you're eligible to register on the priority register, we talk about the eligibility and also what you get for being on that register. And there's that link goes through to a 2-minute video, which explains it really well. Okay. Then when I talk about boosting the money in your pocket, so we look at benefits, we look at pensions, grants for paying your energy bills, and grants also for insulation and improving your the energy in your house. We look at help with NHS costs and other grants. Talk about renting a room. So if you own property and you wanted to rent a room, you could earn up to £7,500 a year without it being taxed. Selling unwanted items, comparing best buys. So just reminding people, take things off auto renewal when it comes to being anything needs renewing. Sort of use a comparison site, try and haggle with your current supplier to get things reduced. And then finally on this page is a do a money makeover. Also, is everyone aware of the Child Trust Fund? So way back, if you had a child that was born between September 2002 and January 2011, the government at the time gave every child born in that period £250 savings. So they wrote to their parents. Some parents did something with the money, other parents totally ignored it. So now there's a link there that lets children coming up to the age of 18, 19 now look for that money. And sometimes that can be a nice little earner up to about £1,000. So there's a link there. So then we talk about budgeting, which is something that I really want to sort of encourage people to do. There's another, so telling people about the fact that they can use spending diaries, paper spending diaries or spending apps to record spending. There's also this nice little link again to Martin Lewis's side, which is called the Spending Demotivator, whereby you just plug in a coffee or a newspaper and it tells you how much you spend in the year on that. So that's just, again, another little bit of fun. Finally, we talk about scams. And there's lots of links here to scam prevention sites. We've got our own little leaflet, and there's this nice little book of little scams, which just lists all the different types of scams. And once again, we end the presentation with just reminding people how to get to all the information. And it's not only us that can help with debt and benefit advice. So I've listed some of the other contenders here. So Money Helper, National Debt Line and Hearts Help. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Sorry, it was so quick, but I just wanted to give you a feel for it. So from my perspective, I would just love you all to be able to spread the word, look at it yourselves, just see what information you could, because everybody can do a little bit to sort of ease the cost of living crisis, if you like. But it's just, yeah, just spreading the word and letting people know that information's available. I appreciate I think money is still a taboo subject, so not everybody wants to come in and talk about it, but we are seeing some quite nice stats from the website whereby people are actually downloading the presentations and downloading the useful links. And I think what's good also is the fact that we are keeping it updated on a regular basis. So it's not out of date stuff. It's, every time we deliver, those slides will be updated. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
No, that's great. Thank you very much for the presentation, Christine. Are there any questions for Christine on the presentation? Yes, Sadie.
Hiya. You mentioned that you have the community cafe at the Wilbury and St Paul's Church. I was asking, I live in the Jackman's estate, and I was wondering if you have anything that goes on there, because I know they have the community cafe, and I know that it will definitely benefit from something that you just presented in that area or in this area.
It's really difficult because I go along sort of once every couple of months handing out leaflets, and I've actually spoken to the people that run the cafes, because I would just love to come in and just deliver just a half an hour, but I haven't had any response from them, to take me up on my offer. So as I say, so that's why over the next few months, I'm going to try and concentrate on delivering to as many frontline workers as I can, but keep those Q&A sessions going on a regular basis. And going forward, there's going to be a Q&A face-to-face at Create Community once a month, but I'm also going to do a Q&A online as well on a Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock, so people can just, buzz in and ask any questions they like, really.
So to follow on for that, sorry, if the Jackman's Community Centre did accept something to be hosted there, is that something that you would be able
I've
to
written
do?
to the Jackmans,
Okay.
and nobody got back. Yeah, but if
No,
you
it's fine. I'm a member of that community centre, so I'm more than happy to reach out to the people there to see if they
that would be
may or
lovely.
may not have
I
received
mean, I
that
did.
information.
I mean, the last time I spoke to anyone was a good 6 months ago, and I just sent an email saying, please, if you want this, I'd love to deliver there. Yeah, thank you. That's lovely.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sadie. Councillor Amy Allen.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, just to talk about the website itself and Christine's workshop that I've been able to go to. I personally found it very helpful for me in some bits and pieces regarding things like the Watershore side of it. As a family with disabled children, turns out we're entitled to that little bit of help. So I didn't even know that. So that was great because with the setup of a family and everything, it's a great thing. So I found that really helpful and really useful, and I've even been able to put a couple of other families and people, it's sort of in the direction of the website, explaining what it is and how there is these things that you have no idea what you could be getting help with, and you'd be really surprised. So I've been pushing people in that direction.
Thank you.
I think I can step up the game with maybe sort of actually advertising it as well, with the use of social media. I don't use social media as much as I probably should for that sort of thing, but I will try harder with that. As the person who runs the Wilbury Community Cafe, I know we've had you in a couple of times. That's all fine. I must have completely missed setting up a workshop there. I'm so sorry.
I did.
I'm not entirely sure if it would be a suitable space to have a workshop there, because it's like just really loud and busy. But I would, you're more than
I'm
welcome
happy to seriously, I really am happy to do it anytime, any place. Just come in, and I can make it shorter, because normally the workshop would run for 45 minutes, but I can condense it. So if half an hour is a better timing, I can sort of take bits out and just do
Let me have a think about a way that it can be done at the cafe, because like I said, it's a bit chaotic and busy and loud, and I'm just not sure how that would work in that space, but I'm sure we can sort of figure something out, something specific at some point. If not,
but ideally I'd love to come along maybe and just do it for all the volunteers, and then once you all know the stuff, then you all can,
Yeah, that's a very good point. Perhaps we can organise it as separate from the actual cafe then, or immediately after, or something along those lines. You're still welcome to come down to the cafe with the leaflets and the information, everything, and use the chatter tables.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Councillor Allen. Are there any more questions for Christine? Yes, Councillor Daniel Allen.
Really appreciate everything you do. I think that's the third or fourth time I've seen your presentation, because you gave it to the Letchworth Civic Trust, who are also one of the people that funded that one, I believe. Not just the heritage. Are you still able to go out and do visits? you previously did them with some of the groups like Resolve and Feed Up Warm Up. Is that something
No,
you're
I
still able to
tried.
offer?
I've actually sent them emails to say, can I please come and do one for your volunteers? And I haven't heard anything.
You're
So
trying, that's the important thing. Thank you
I
so
am.
much.
I literally I've sent it to pretty much every organisation in Letchworth, every charity, and I've sent it to every school and every playgroup and every church, and yeah.
Our daughter's school had one that you organised, and yeah, thank you
Not
so
many
much.
people turned out. Yeah. It's quite sad, and I think it is a case of everyone's so busy, but just for the record, I'm actually retiring soon. But there will be a replacement. But what I'm thinking is I'd love to do as much as I can in the next few months, because before I do, go on my merry way. So, but there will be. It's not going to stop. The project is carrying on. But from a personal point of view, I'd like to do as much as I can before I do go.
That's great. Thank you very much, Christine. And I'm sure we all wish you the best in your retirement.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Christine? If not, thank you very much for your presentation. Again, echo all the voices around here. Wonderful to see what you're doing. And if there's any support that we can give, please do let us know.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll now move on to the next item, which is the grants and community update. So can I invite the Community Partnerships Officer to present, please?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you all for remaining here with us. I just want to thank the presenters as well, because excellent presentations and waiting so late as well. And thank you for the councillors who were able to turn up tonight. I will whiz through this at breakneck speed. I know most of you have read this already, but just to give everyone an update, district-wide, the Community Investment Fund has now closed. There was an oversubscription of 3 times the amount of allocated funds available, with those scoring the highest for the initial assessment that progressed to the panel. Also, our team have been busy coordinating voluntary support response to the asylum seekers based in North Harts. As Councillor Allen has already mentioned, we're launching the North Harts Hero Awards, and the nominations are closed. The winners have been notified, and they will be receiving their awards at the Chair's civic event on the 1st of March. And again, that has been plugged already. But we also coordinate various network groups, which our presenters are actually part of. The Jackmans, the Grange, the Wilbury, they turn up to that. We have other groups that most of you are aware of, like the Youth Action, the Food Provision, the Arts and Culture Network Group, and the Green and Growing Group. We obviously still facilitate the council surgeries on Saturdays across North Harts. We also continue to share information on social media and within our network groups, the mailing lists, and we keep in touch with the community, voluntary and statutory agencies. We've had a recent reshuffle of community partnerships team in October, but this doesn't affect Letchworth. You would have also seen right at the very end, we had the youth showcase event in Hitchin, which again was able to showcase the youth clubs and activities that are happening in North Harts. Some of you were also able to attend the Letchworth Remembrance Day event, which we were able to help with, along with the Letchworth bids. More focused on Letchworth, we had a recent meeting at the Jackmans Community Centre, which I know some of the councillors were able to come to that. That was on Friday. A good meeting covering a good few many things there that we're taking away and seeing what we can do with. Also, we are planning to attend the What is Your Part to Play in the Future of Letchworth, which is going to be hosted by the Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation. That is next week for those that are interested. We continue to work with Settle, especially on the Jackmans and the Grange. They have a designated officer who we are going to meet soon. Also, there is the Town Strategy Group meeting that is happening tomorrow. That is with the Heritage Foundation again, Garden Square Shopping Centre and the BID. And we're also going to meet Howard Gardens Social Centre, as they've had a bit of a reshuffle as well. So as you are aware, we try and make ourselves available to you all as and when we can. And if you have got anything that you'd like to raise with us, please do let us know. I think that's everything for now. As I said, I'm conscious of the time, but if you do have any questions, more than happy to take them.
That's great. Thank you, Danny. Are there any questions for Danny? No, thank you very much, Danny, for
Thank you, Chair.
your report. We'll now go to the next item on the agenda, which is open discussion. So any general questions or issues that anybody in the meeting wants to raise? No? Okay. Oh, yes, Councillor Home.
Thank you. I'm off mute now. Yeah, there's an issue going down around tractors, which you may or might be aware of. The past 3 or 4 years, in December, late November, December time, we get a parade of tractors come through Baldock into Letchworth and then out to Hitchin. There's problems with the route they take through Letchworth, and it's being discussed currently by the organisations responsible, which is Herts County Council, and HDC are involved in it as well, but certainly Herts County Council, because what they would like to do is, on a temporary basis, just for that couple of hours, is change the route so it goes up Gurnon Road rather than the route it currently takes. And the reason why there's a problem is because the tractors going into the town on the Broadway and the Broadway roundabout meet the tractors coming out of the town on the Broadway roundabout, and there's total confusion and gridlock, as there was this year. They had to pull a few out of that process. So there's issues going down at the moment, but Herts County Council are communicating with the appropriate people and meeting with them to see what we can do to resolve it. And myself and others, including the MPs, are very interested and keen that the tractors do actually go through the centre of Letchworth, particularly because the tractor event is raising money for the Garden City Hospice, and therefore it's important, we think, that it does at least come into Letchworth, and if we get where it does now, which is go down East Cheap and that sort of way, then good. But the route currently does not allow for the expected number of tractors to clog up the Broadway Gardens, and so one suggestion was reduce the number of tractors. That is something we prefer not to do, but that was a suggestion from one of the officers, and we said, well, that's not the preferred option. The preferred option is to have one way going up. So the more I hear about it, the more I will keep you informed, but we're looking to solve the problem.
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Councillor Home. Are there any questions or any other bits of general discussion that anybody wants to bring up? If not, oh yes, sorry, Councillor Amy Allen.
Just a quick plug for my cafe, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So, as you all know, Wilbury Community Cafe is the second Saturday of the month at 10 until 12:30 at St Thomas's Church and Wilbury Hall in Wilbury. And everybody is welcome. It's free entry. You can come and volunteer. You can come and do some washing up. You can come and sit and have a cup of tea. But everybody is welcome, and we'd love to see everybody there. Please spread the word.
That's great. Thank you very much, Councillor Allen. Councillor Bloxham.
Something that gnaws away at me, I'm afraid. I think it stifles a bit of communication. I think it would lead to us being a little bit more open and easy, and certainly for our visitors. And that's dropping the fact that we have to say, well, we don't have to say it, Councillor Bloxham, Councillor Levitt, and this, that, and the other. I've got a first name and I haven't got a problem if people use that. And I really would like us to have a grown-up discussion one day about being able to, you know what? Terry will tell you, as will other county councillors on it. Tina will tell you as well. Even in Herts County Council, you're called by your first name. So I know it's difficult to get around this, but I really can't get. I would love us to be able to be Simon and Daniel and people like that. That's it. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. I've always used the council moniker as a mark of respect, and I know we're in a slightly more informal setting here. As you found tonight, I've slipped up plenty of times. I know it's getting late. I would be
only
more
with
than happy.
Tamsin.
Well, and Sean and various others, but yeah, with Tamsin, I'd be more than happy to use councillors' first names in this forum if everybody is happy for me to. I just didn't want to assume that was the case.
Yeah, understood.
for the reasons that I've just described. But if everybody here is happy to use first names, then I'm more than happy to, because that, to be honest, that helps me as well.
Happy to second that, Councillor Plater.
Thank you, Phil. In which case, then, Daniel.
The problem with that is then which Daniel, but there we go. Especially Daniel from the Grange, which one? No, just some future ideas of bits that I'd love to discuss in these meetings from things that have been raised on the doorstep quite a lot recently. Obviously, the Hertfordshire County Council report for SEND provisions. I'm not going to go into any detail, but it'll just be great to hear from Hertfordshire County Council around what their plan is to progress that and ensure that we are improving the SEND provisions across Letchworth and across all of North Hertfordshire and throughout the county. And in addition to that, one of the things I keep hearing on the doorsteps time and again is people are not happy, obviously, with the amount of drug use seems to be on the rise, and obviously antisocial behaviour as well. So it'd be really great if we could invite police along one day to one of these meetings to have a bit of an update about how they're tackling that on a ground level, and really kind of go in on that a little bit.
No, that's great. Thank you, Dan. I'm happy to announce that we will in fact be having the police along for the next area forum.
Great minds.
So that'll be a good chance to ask some questions about that. Daniel Allen.
Just wanted to say about the following on from the comment about the police. Can we have an invitation to the bid manager to make a statement at the next meeting about the Letchworth bid and the town centre changes? Can we also invite the Heritage Foundation once a year to make a comment and tell us what's going on? And finally, yes, we want to hear about County Council and SEND. We do not want to hear it from county councillors. We want to hear it from County Council officers.
Okay, thank you very much, Dan Allen. Danny, can you get those first 2 points and action them, please, to invite the bid and the heritage down for the next meeting as well?
Absolutely, Chair. We'll have to squeeze them in, but we can discuss that after the meeting because we've got a packed agenda as is. But yes, we'll get on that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Terry.
Yeah, thank you. Today, one of the items things happened today was what we call scrutiny of the budget down at County Hall, the IP process, which is broken down by directorate. And today there was a number, there was four of them, on Friday. If you'd gone to that, you would have heard a lot more about SEND, you'd learn about education, where they're spending money. And that is questions posed by councillors to officers and to, I have to say, to the portfolio holders. Lots of questions about where the funding's going, how the funding's going, where it's going to be, whether it be whatever directory it is. And today it was adult care and children's services. And of course, it would have done children's services. Education is here today. Would have been SEND was on the agenda and the funding for it. So that was a meeting which is in public, which you could all go into and Zoom to, and I did certainly, and probably Tina did as well. She might even been on one of those sessions. So it has been available, and you can learn a lot from it if you wanted to.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, Tina.
Thank you very much. Just to report back from that, as well as education and children's services, we also had adult care, which I chaired, and public health. I was indeed there for every single one of those portfolios and will be there for all of the ones on Friday, because I'm on overview and scrutiny. However, I don't think that is the channel that councillors on this authority should be getting information. I would, of course, encourage everybody to watch, but I think it's absolutely right that we have officers on matters of particular concern to our local community in attendance here in the same way that I am as a county councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Are there any other questions or issues as part of the open discussion? If not, thank you very much all. We'll move on to the next item, which is ward members' activities. Do members have any updates for the area forum? No, if not, thank you very much, everybody. And so we'll move on to the next item, which is item number 8, which is topics for future forums. So I'd like to ask for any suggestions from members for future topics of discussion. I've got a note here that we've just touched on, is that the police have been invited to give their yearly update at the next area forum. And we've also invited Resilient Together to give a presentation as well. Okay, if not, thank you very much all. I know it's been a long one tonight, but it's been a really, really good meeting. Some fantastic presentations. I think we can all agree. Thank you very much for coming. The time is 10:30 and I will call the meeting closed.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Well done.
Cheers, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Tom.
IT, would you be able